Hey guys, welcome back to
Hey,
our channel. It's Kai,
I'm Candy.
and today we want to talk about labor and childbirth. The reason why we decided to talk about this topic is because right now we are at the point where we feel like she will be able to have a natural vaginal birth, but there are some complications that makes us believe that it's possible that she could need a C-section.
Yeah.
So we wanted to just talk a little bit more about that, so we can be completely transparent, get you guys ideas, your experiences, and maybe put our mind at ease just a little bit.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and explain medically what is going on. So basically, I have fibroids. I was kind of aware maybe about 5, 6 years ago when I was having some issues with my menstrual cycle that I possibly had them. But to be honest, I was so young, maybe 19, 20 years old, and I just kind of didn't understand the seriousness of fibroids. And I just felt like it wasn't affecting me, meaning it wasn't hurting or anything like that. So after I went and I saw that doctor, I was just like, I'm supposed to follow up, but I never did. Um, Pretty early on in my pregnancy, they discovered via sonogram, of course, that I had fibroids. My doctor basically let me know that the fibroids can grow. There is nothing that they can do to medically stop them from growing. Sometimes they don't grow, or sometimes the growth is minimum. Sometimes the growth is really maximum. In addition to that, I also have what is called a low-lying placenta. So most women, their placenta ends up in the behind, the back of them.
Or somewhere at the top, I thought, like back.
Yeah. So it's in the top position, but back.
Back, yeah.
My placenta is in the front. So if I could explain it, it's like my tummy, my placenta, and then there's the baby behind it. This is why it took me longer than average women to feel her kick, because until she gets bigger, well, until she got bigger, I wasn't able to really feel a whole lot of movement because of all of those layers of cushion. Now, with these things combined, what this basically means is I could be a candidate for having a C-section. I think it's more so because of the placenta and how it covers up the cervix. And basically, if something is covering your cervix, there is no way that you can deliver a baby, because how it would happen is my placenta would deliver first, and they don't want anything to deliver before baby.
Yeah.
So now, where the C-section becomes high risk and risky is because where I would have my incisions is where the placenta would be. So what could happen is it could cause the doctor to cut into the placenta, and then I could lose a lot of blood and possibly have to have a blood transfusion. So that is what makes my C-section even not an ideal C-section for my doctor. He feels like it's nothing that I should be worried about. It's more so his worry, because I mean, it just frankly makes his job a lot harder than what it has to be. Now, with that being said, I really wanted to have a C-section, oddly enough, because I was like, I didn't want to go through labor. But hearing all of that and knowing, I think C-sections are scary, because there's very few doctors that will just give you a C-section for no medical reasons.
Right.
So there's usually a medical reason, or it's usually an emergency C-section. So they are so... I'm now understanding the seriousness and the scariness of the situation for me and the baby. And I, of course, now want to do labor if possible. So I've been trying to work out and just take care of myself, do different exercises and stuff, in hopes that things will shift. We probably won't know any serious answers, I'm thinking, until about after 30 weeks or so, when I do have another sonogram and they're able to see. Kai, she had labor and she had natural labor.
Both times.
So I'll let her tell you about her experience with natural labor.
So let me just start off by saying that the baby is fine, y'all.
Oh, yes.
So just because all of those things are going on, those things are going on with her,
right,
not the baby.
Right.
The baby is perfectly healthy. She's growing. There's no concern as far as that is concerned, just so you guys know.
Yes.
But back to the natural childbirth. I am terribly afraid of needles. I think I said this in the last video. I hate needles. I do. If I have to get it, I'll get it, but I hate needles. And I actually took a Lamaze / childbirth class, something similar to what we took back in the day. And during that class, they showed us what an epidural actually looked like. And when I saw the size of that needle and that cord that goes inside the needle, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, no, I can do this.
And the catheter.
Oh, yeah, and then the fact that, you got to put a catheter inside of me, and that's how I have to use the bathroom. I can't move around. Like, it was just a lot of factors in why I was just like, no, I'm not getting epidural. I'm not going to hold still while you put a needle in my back and risk the chance of being paralyzed because, no, I just couldn't do it. So my first one, I had him natural, no medication or whatever. My second one, the doctor was like, you sure you don't want this epidural? I can give you one needle and take all the pain away. I'm like, no, leave me alone. I can do this. And, I did it twice. I have no problems with women who have to have C-sections because, like she said, it is a medical condition. Mm-hmm. But I do think that if you can, the pain actually, to me, did not become unbearable until it was almost time to push. So, right. To me, it was just like, why get an epidural just for some... To me, it was like cramps, like period cramps, really bad period cramps. And like I said, it did not become unbearable until it was almost time to push. And at that point, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah. I do also want to add to her point, too, that Kaya happened for her children, for the amount of children that she has, she happened to have very quick labors.
I did.
So what she I think she thought was normal of a labor time was actually extremely oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. It was actually extremely excellent because...
Well, not really normal. I had...
No, it was excellent of a time frame is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but when we took the class, I basically was in labor a total of 7 to 8 hours, both pregnancies.
Right.
But when we took the childbirth class, she basically said that, labor goes into 3 different stages.
Right.
And it can last up to 12 to 15 hours.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you realize that you just had a very kind of abnormal, excellent labor.
Right.
It's not the labor that a lot of women get.
Yeah.
And I even asked, personally on my Facebook page, maybe a couple of months ago, how long did labor go? And there were very minimum women like Kai who would say between 7 to 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Most women were at least at the 12-hour or above mark.
I got lucky, y'all.
She did. So I think that also contribute to her not getting the epidural because one thing is, it's one thing to be in pain, but it's one thing to be in prolonged pain, obviously. Mm-hmm. And if you've been in pain over 12 to 15 hours, you might be thinking, if I have to do this another 10 or so hours, I want to try to do this not in this much pain, level of pain.
I will say, both times I was induced.
Yeah. And she was induced as well.
I was induced. The first time I was induced because I didn't talk about this previously, but my very first child was actually a stillborn child. I was young at the time, and I went the whole 9 months of my pregnancy, and things just did not work out for me. So at that time I was induced, and because of that, my firstborn son, he had to be induced because his heart rate was dropping, and my doctor was like, we're not playing any games, let's just go ahead and take this baby while we know that he's healthy and living. And the next one, he pooped inside of me, my water broke, but I still wasn't in labor, still didn't feel any pain, so it was just like, I had to be induced at that time. So I'm thinking that the medications that they gave me made my labor go by a little bit faster. I don't know, what do you guys think? That's just my perception.
Yeah.
But I really feel like the Pitocin that they give you to start your labor is actually what make mine go by faster. So if you've ever been induced, let me know what your theory is. Do you believe that, that made your labor slow down, or do you think that it made it go a little faster?
And I think it's awesome that labor is really such a phenomenon that even in like my prepared childbirth booklet, it still says that no one knows how labor starts. They don't know what prompts it. Like she said, she was induced and that she felt like it kind of sped up her labor. Mm-hmm. There are women who are induced and labor slows down. Mm-hmm. So there's so much about labor and bringing like childbearing period that I don't think we'll really ever know the answer to. And when they say like pregnancy is different for every woman,
it truly
and
is.
labor is different for every woman, it is. Like I haven't heard really two stories that were exactly alike. There is so much difference in the stories always. But
also one more thing, for the ladies who had the epidural, for me, my perception is, and even when we went to the childbirth class, they were saying that sometimes it can slow the labor process down.
Yeah.
So I would like feedback on that. If you did have epidural, do you feel like it slowed your labor down? Did it make it, you stay in labor longer because maybe your contractions slow down? Or, do you feel like it helped you throughout the pregnancy, or did you still feel everything? I mean, just give us some more information in regards to that, because like I said, because I did not have it, I don't really have that kind of information to share with her. So I would really love for you guys to chime in and give us some information in regards to having the epidural and how you felt it affected your labor and delivery.
Yeah, and I would also love to hear from my C-section ladies, because obviously if I do have to have a C-section, I won't even be getting an epidural. I'll be getting a spinal, a whole different level. But yeah, I just want to hear y'all feedback. How was recovery time? Because that's another thing that maybe we'll touch in another video. Yeah, just basically how was your process with the C-section? And do you think you would have preferred labor over the C-section, or would you have rather just had your C-section?
I would be curious to see a mother, or hear from a mother who has had a vaginal birth and also had a C-section birth. So we can know, how do you compare the two? What do you feel was easier for you? Yeah. So if any of you mothers out there have experienced, childbirth more than once, and one was vaginal, one was C-section, please chime in and give us that type of information. We would love to hear about it. And we appreciate all of the feedback that you guys will give us.
We definitely do. So thank y'all so much for watching. As you can see, we have a lot of questions for y'all this time. Vice versa. Because normally y'all have a lot of questions for us. But we appreciate talking to y'all. We read every single comment. Thank y'all so much for the support and love that you all give us. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you do not miss when we upload a new video. Also, thumbs up this video, and if you really like it, share it.
Also, do not forget we have the P.O. box as well as the baby registry at the bottom of our video. We will now put them at the bottom of every video, starting from, I think, the gender reveal. So a lot of people have been online asking about those. So just so you know, always look at the bottom. We always list those things.
Yes. So thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.